Okay, so we're diving deep today
Diving deep.
into Cobra Kai fan theories.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, this one you sent in texto pagado.
Weird.
It's a doozy.
Really?
First of all,
Yeah.
it's in Spanish,
Oh, wow.
which, I mean, already that just makes
Yeah.
it super intriguing.
Yeah, that's
But it gets even better because it digs into some pretty wild stuff about Mr. Miyagi's past.
Okay.
Like way beyond anything we've seen in the movies or even the shows so far. So,
Intrigued.
right.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, like, are the writers messing with us?
Right.
Or is there actually, like, this whole hidden chapter of Mr. Miyagi's life that they've been keeping under wraps?
Interesting.
And the article kind of starts off with this whole question about Mr. Miyagi's name,
Okay.
which we all know as Nariyoshi.
Nariyoshi, right.
But then in Karate Kid 4, his passport says Keisuke.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the deal? Which is it?
It's funny how those little details can really trip you up. It's been bugging fans for years, and this article actually dives into some pretty interesting theories about it.
Yeah, and some of these theories, I mean, they paint a very different picture of Mr. Miyagi than what we're used to.
Oh, really?
We're talking accusations of a past crime.
What?
We're talking participation in the Sekai Taikai tournament. It's definitely not the peaceful bonsai tending mentor that we all thought we knew.
I mean, that's what I love about Cobra Kai, though, you know? They take these characters that we think we know,
Right.
and they really make you question everything.
Yeah.
And this whole thing with Mr. Miyagi, it's actually, I think it adds a layer of depth to his character. Really?
It makes you think about the weight of his past. You know, what he might have done,
Right.
and how those experiences shaped him into the man that ultimately taught Daniel about balance and restraint.
Wow.
It adds a certain, like, tragic depth to his whole story, don't you think?
It's true, and you have to wonder what Daniel would think about all of this.
I know, right?
Because, I mean, talk about putting someone on a pedestal.
For sure.
To find out that this person that you idolize had this whole other life.
Right.
With secrets and potentially even a dark side.
It's a lot to process.
It really makes their whole relationship that much more complex.
I mean, you said it.
And one of the things the article points out is that this whole Keisuke thing, it seems to be linked to a time before Mr. Miyagi even met Daniel's family.
So it's like he was trying to build a new life for himself, you know?
Right.
Leaving behind whatever happened before.
It's like we're getting these little glimpses into this, like, hidden chapter of his life.
Exactly. It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what was he running from? What really happened? And how does this Keisuke thing tie into all of it?
So many questions.
Yay.
Well, you know what? The article actually brings up this idea that Keisuke could be the link to bringing in Julie Pierce.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Julie
Yeah.
Pierce. Like Hilary Swank from the next Karate Kid.
The one and only.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about, like, bringing her into Cobra Kai.
It's a possibility, the article suggests.
I mean, the next Karate Kid always felt kind of like its own separate thing.
Right.
But to actually connect it to Cobra Kai, that changes everything. Why do you think that is? Like, why is that connection so significant?
Well, for one, it would kind of bridge that gap that a lot of fans felt, you know, between that movie and the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And plus, Julie's fighting style was way more aggressive than Daniel's Roma. So to see her go up against, like, the current Cobra Kai crew,
Oh, man.
that'd be intense.
That would be incredible.
Talk about a clash of styles.
Right. So not only are we maybe uncovering this whole secret past of Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah.
but it could connect to a completely different part of the Karate Kid universe.
Exactly.
And you know what else I just remembered?
What's that?
Her grandfather, in the movie, he also called Mr. Miyagi Keisuke.
Oh, that's right, he did.
So what does that tell us? Are we talking, like, way before Daniel's time?
It seems like it, right. We could be talking decades before Mr. Miyagi even met Daniel. The article even suggests it might tie into his life during World War II or even after.
Which would make sense if he left the U.S. after that whole crime thing, and then maybe that's how he ended up at the Sekai Taikai. Speaking of which, remember that Chinese coin Daniel found in Miyagi stuff?
How could I forget? That always felt like a big deal.
Right. And the article actually makes this connection to Mr. Han.
Mr. Han.
Yeah. You know, from the 2010 Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
Oh, right, with the cars and everything.
Yeah. And if you think about it, any true Karate Kid fan knows Mr. Han and his Chinese coins.
Totally. It's like his signature thing.
Exactly. So to have that connected to Mr. Miyagi, come on, there's got to be something there.
It makes you wonder what their relationship was all about.
Right. Like, what if Mr. Han was related to Mr. Miyagi somehow?
That'd be wild. Or maybe they trained together at some point.
Ooh, imagine that. Or Okay, get this. What if this is how they bring Jaden Smith into Cobra Kai?
Whoa, now you're talking.
I know, right? It's not totally impossible.
True, and I mean, Will Smith is an executive producer on the show, so
Exactly. Can you imagine the internet freaking out if that happened?
it would be epic. And think about the flashback possibilities. A young Mr. Han at the Sekai Taikai, maybe even bumping into a young Sato.
Now, that is a storyline I would pay to see. It's like Cobra Kai is becoming its own expanded universe.
I know, it's so cool.
And this article is giving us a sneak peek behind the scenes. But wait a second, I just thought of something.
What's up?
The article mentioned the Sekai Taikai being in China.
Yeah.
But didn't the original movie say it was in Japan?
You know what? You're right. The article could be making an assumption there. We don't actually know for sure where Miyagi's tournament happened, if he was even in one at all.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the writers are throwing us off.
Oh, you think so?
Right. Like, what if it's a red herring? Remember when they had us all convinced that Miguel's dad was going to be this huge villain?
Oh, yeah. And then it turned out he had no clue Miguel even existed.
Exactly. So even if this Sekai Taikai thing isn't totally accurate,
Right.
there's still probably a lot more to the story.
For sure.
And speaking of more to the story, the article also talks about Tori joining Kreese,
Oh, man, Tori.
especially after everything with her mom.
It's just,
And then there's Robbie's reaction to it all. I still can't figure him out.
it's a lot to unpack, right?
I mean, it's understandable,
Yeah.
you know, where she's coming from. She's dealing with so much anger after losing her mom. And Kreese is right there, you know, ready to take advantage. But Robbie, he's almost like, I don't know, detached from the whole thing, and I don't get it.
Yeah, it's definitely a head scratcher. I think it really speaks to how complex these characters are and how powerful of a hold Cobra Kai has on them. Even when they're trying to break free, Tori's always struggling, always trying to overcome something.
Yeah.
And in her darkest moments, Cobra Kai with that whole no mercy thing, it's like it gives her this sense of power, even if it's coming from a bad place.
Right. Like she's searching for something to hold on to. And when Hawk took her place at the tournament, did you see Robbie's face? He had this look on his face, like almost a smirk. What do you think that was all about?
Oh, I saw it. It makes you think, right, like maybe he recognizes that path that she's going down. Maybe he even regrets it. He fell into the Cobra Kai trap himself, so he knows how destructive it can be.
Maybe he sees a little bit of hope in Hawk.
Totally. Like proof that you can come back from that darkness.
Okay, so let's break this down.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've got this whole thing with Mr. Miyagi and a possible crime.
Right.
This name change thing.
Keisuke.
Exactly. This connection to the next Karate Kid.
Julie Pierce.
Oh, and we can't forget about Mr. Han. And that whole Jaden Smith theory.
No, that would be something else.
Right. Are we even close? With all of this, what other crazy stuff happened in Mr. Miyagi's past?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Is what keeps us coming back for more. And Cobra Kai does a great job of keeping us on our toes. I mean, who saw Johnny Lawrence becoming like the good guy?
I know. And what about Ali Mills coming back?
Don't even get me started. No love triangle. Come on.
Right. But instead, they went a totally different direction with it. And it was brilliant.
Exactly. And I think that's what I love about this whole texto pagado thing and all these theories. Even if some of the details are a little off,
Right.
it shows how much the writers are paying attention. They're thinking long game.
Totally. And that's what makes it so fun to watch.
100%. They're always dropping hints, some clues, keeping us guessing.
And that is the sign of some seriously good storytelling.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey.
Right.
The questions we ask along the way. So as we wait for the next season of Cobra Kai, I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What do you think? What secrets do you think Mr. Miyagi is hiding? Let us know. And until then, keep those theories coming.